Okay, well, it is Thursday, and Snowy and I, right, Snowy? We're going to teach you about the power to the power exponent rule. So, of course, the first thing we want to do is go ahead and put our date at the top. So today is 3/5/14. Okay? So, looking at this example here, the power to the power rule is when you have exponents like we have over here. Man. See, we have an exponent of 3 and then 2, and these are 1. And those exponents are being raised to an exponent. So it's a power to the power. Just think of that song, Power to the People. So what we want to do when we're first doing this is go in, and I think it's best if you go ahead and put in exponents so you don't see. So we know that this is 2 to the 1 power, a to the 3rd power, b to the 1 power, and c to the 2 power, and then b to the 3 power. So our first step is to write in the number 1 power, okay? Terrible handwriting, isn't it? All right, so I went in and put in the exponents that aren't there, okay? So when you think about this, we're taking everything in here to the 3rd power. So if I wanted to write this out separately, that's 2 to the 3rd power, a to the 3rd power, because I'm distributing this to each one, because each one of these is being taken to the 3rd power. Then we have b to the 3rd power, and then we have our c squared to the 3rd power. So I took each one of these and separated them and raised them to the 3rd power, because the parentheses say everything within this is raised to the 3rd power, right? Right. Okay. So if you think about this, this is a 2 to the 1 power to the 3rd power. So this is really just 2 times 2 times 2, right? Because it's saying do it 3 times, to the 1 power, okay? So that's just going to give me 2 to the 3rd power, which we know is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, okay? So if we look at this one now, this is a to the 3rd times a to the 3rd times a to the 3rd, because it's a to the 3rd power. So this means times itself 3 times. So we have 1, 2, 3, right? So then if I want to write that out the long way, we have a to the 3rd, that's this one. Then we have a to the 3rd, that's that one. And then we have a to the 3rd. So altogether we have 3, 6, 9. That becomes a to the 9. A lot, I know, right? Right, White, Snowy? Yeah, okay. So here we have b to the 1 3 times. So b, b, b. And it's all to the 1 power. So it just becomes b to the 3rd. Here we have c squared, and c squared. So if I want to write that out the long way, c squared is c times c. Then we have this squared, which is c times c. And then we have this squared, which is c times c. And then together we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. C is being multiplied by itself 6 times, so we have c to the 6. So my final answer is 8, a to the 9, b to the 3rd, and c to the 6. Okay? So just to recap, everything inside here is being raised to the 3rd power. So I have to take everything in here times itself 3 times, right? So 2 times 3 times 3, then we have a to the 3rd 3 times, b to the 1 3 times, and c to the 2nd 3 times. Now at this point you could have said, well, this is multiplying. And I know for multiplying the rule for the exponents is to add. So I could have just did 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 9. 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3. Or 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 6. Okay, so at this point we could have used our multiplication rule that says add the exponents, but I wanted you to see exactly what that meant. Okay. Now if you look at this, you might be able to see something else similar here. Let's see, so I broke all this down for you, okay? But really, if you look at this, if I did 3 times 1, I would have got a to the 3rd power. And if I would have done 3 times 3, I would have got a to the 9 power. And then 3 times 1 would be b to the 3rd power. And 3 times 2 would be b to the 6th power, because it's just repeated addition, right? Times itself 3 times. So actually, the whole gist of all of this is that when you have a power to the power, you multiply those powers, okay? So let's look at another example here. So the power to the power exponents we want to put in our notes here. Usually you do the distribution rule. So you're going to distribute through multiplication. So just like I said, if this is my problem here, and here are all my exponents, I multiply 3 by each one. So our little rule for power to the power of exponents is that we multiply the exponents together. It's easy as that. That's my rule. Okay? So let's look at an example here. Oh, this was another example, okay? This time they had a fraction. So this whole thing is being raised to the 3rd power. So when you have that, you multiply each of the top by 3, and the bottom exponents get multiplied by 3 as well. Okay, so this is 2 to the 1 power. So this gives me 1 times 3, which gives you, that's not right, 8. This should just be 8. And this is 5 times 3, right, would give you 15. And then this is 3 times 3, which gives you the 9. And then 7 times 3, which gives you 21. This is not right. This should just be 8. 2 to the 3rd power is 8. Okay? Typo. All right, so let's look at an example here. Okay, let's look at number 1. Okay, so as I said before, we're going to write in any exponents we don't see. So that's a to the 1, b to the negative 4, and everything's raised to the 2 power. So I'm going to distribute the 2 to each one. So that's going to give me a 1 times 2, and b negative 4 times 2. So that would give me a 1 times 2 is 2, and b negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. And then we know that we want all exponents positive, so we'll bring that down below. So we'll get a to the 2nd over b to the positive 8. Okay? Did that make sense? Snowy, you're getting it? Yep, he's getting it. All right, so let's look at number 4. Again, we want to put our exponents in it. That's 5 to the 1 and x to the 1. Okay? It really helps if you put that in there. Okay? So we're going to multiply each one of those by negative 2. So that's going to give me 5, 1 times negative 2, and x, 1 times negative 2. So that's going to give me 5 to the negative 2 and x to the negative 2. Both those are negative, so I want to bring them down below. So it's going to be 1 over 5 squared, x squared. And then I know 5 squared is 25. So it's going to be 25x squared. If it's a nice easy exponent, you're expected to go ahead and multiply out. But if this number was like 12, I would just leave it 5 to the 12th. Okay? So let's go ahead and have you guys try 5 and 6 on your own. And we'll see how we do, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Snowy bids you good night.